I've been thinking about my wardrobe and what it is that I actually want from my clothes. I believe that there's a power in intention and a power in words. So instead of looking for something flattering or pretty, I want a wardrobe that is soft, gentle, kind, whimsical, and unpretentious. I want clothing that feels like me and who I aspire to be. I know that when I am unapologetically myself, those around me also have room to be unapologetically themselves. And for me to be completely myself, I need to feel comfortable in what I'm wearing. I need to feel like it represents who I am. I can feel comfortable in pajamas, but I don't feel like they give an honest representation of who I am. A roomy linen or cotton dress, some hand-knit socks, and a sweater or a vest that I spent time making, however, that is something that feels like me. Something that supports me to be unapologetically myself. What is the purpose of clothing, if not that? An extension of who you are or who you aspire to be. So this is what I'm keeping in mind when I'm revising my wardrobe. What do I reach for again and again? What feels like me? My name is Santra, and I am building an intentional, mostly handmade wardrobe, slowly and quietly over time. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. In this episode, I want to take a look at my current wardrobe. What is there now? What is missing? And how do I choose what should be added in? What can I make? And what do I want to invest in? I'm sure that most of us have some role models when it comes to fashion. Someone who conveys the same energy or emotion that we would like to convey. Someone who inspires us to embrace ourselves, flaws and all. To give a better sense of what I would like from my wardrobe, I want to share a quick reflection of who I admire and what about them sparks something in me. If you watched my first episode, it will come as no surprise that hobbits are highly ranked in my list of inspiration. Their cozy comforts, their natural fibers, and their ability to putter around and do whatever they need to in their clothing is something that I would like to have. But I also really admire Justice from Thread and Sprout. I feel like there is so much joy in the way she dresses, and she inspires me to add more whimsy into my everyday. I also follow some Instagram accounts that make me want to be more adventurous in how I dress, and I will link those in the description. Before going to a local yarn festival in the beginning of March, I decided to put some time and work into making a color palette to stick to. I followed along to a video from Isabella from Breathing Yarn here on YouTube and put a lot of thought into what I want my wardrobe to convey. So this is what I came up with. My inspiration is a bit of late autumn forest vibes and maybe a witch's spice drawer. So looking at what is already here in my wardrobe, I have dresses, and I think I only want to add maybe one more. My dream dress is a nature dress from Thread and Sprout, and I've already bought the pattern. Before investing time and money into finding the perfect fabric, I decided to sew a dress from the pattern out of a white bed sheet, and I really like the fit. So I feel like I can go ahead and make plans for this dress to be added to my wardrobe later this year or early next year. I also need to make time to mend 3 of my dresses that have become quite worn, but anything worth having is worth mending, in my opinion. I have 2 linen skirts that I sewed from dresses that didn't fit quite right, and I have 1 pair of trousers. I would love to thrift a pair of jeans, but we will see. I would also really love to invest in a pair of linen trousers from Not Perfect Linen sometime this year. I have a few knit tops that I love wearing and would like to add a simple knit tee and 2 tanks to retire some of my very old fast fashion ones that still have a place in my wardrobe. Later this year, I plan on adding a Come Back Again by Andrea Mowry, but other than that, there's not much missing for a complete wardrobe. In an attempt to add more whimsy to my wardrobe, I knit a colorful Paris skirt out of leftover mohair and suri, and it makes me feel like a character from a children's book when I wear it. It's so fun and it's so twirly. I feel like I'm 6 years old in a new dress. My dream piece for adding whimsy to my outfits would be a magic vest from Thread and Sprout. And once I have a bit more practice with my sewing machine, I hope to be able to invest the time into making one for myself. I'm curious to hear, where do you get inspiration for how to dress?
Thank you for all the kindness that you've shown me on my first video. I've been completely blown away by the response and yeah, by all of the kindness that you've shown me. So thank you for watching, for liking, for commenting, and for sharing and subscribing. I truly appreciate it, and yeah, I'm just really, really grateful and happy about the response. It's been really useful to go through my wardrobe and see what's there and to check what's missing. As I said earlier in this video, a lot of my dresses are getting a bit worn and need some mending. Some of them might even need to be replaced. I'm not quite sure, but it's maybe not so high on the priority list. Except for the nature dress. I've been dreaming about a nature dress for years and years. And so now that I've bought the pattern to the dress, it's called the, I don't remember what it's called, but I will put it on the screen here. It's from Thread and Sprout. It's called the foundation dress from Thread and Sprout. And I've also bought the tutorial to make the nature dress. So I'm looking forward to start gathering fabrics and see where my nature dress will take me. Hopefully it will be something as personal and as meaningful as my shawl that I shared in my last episode with my gray shawl that is based on memories from my childhood in a tiny little island up in the north of Iceland. And hopefully I will be able to replicate something similar in this nature dress. So I wanted to take just a little bit of time here at the end of the episode to go over what I'm working on and what my plans are for the next few weeks. I am actually going to be traveling for the next few weeks. I will be visiting my sister in the United States, and I have some plans to bring some knitting along with me. But I will do another video that I hope to release next week, which is a little bit of a travel vlog, what I'm packing and how I'm choosing the projects to take with me. Because there's quite a difference in the temperature here in Iceland, where we were still getting snow 2 days ago, and in Florida, where it's really sunny and hot, in my opinion anyway. So I will share a bit about that in a different vlog. But right now, what I'm wearing is I'm wearing a kusk tee that I knit from a pattern by Etta Lilja, who is an Icelandic designer and one of my friends, the one who dyed the yarn for my beautiful beach shawl. So she made this this pattern as well, and I made this a couple years ago, and it's getting a little bit too big, and I would really like another one in like a color similar to this, a green, mossy green color. So I'm hoping to knit another one of these, and maybe a matching one for my granddaughter. I already made her the children's version of this when she was probably 9 months. She was small. She was just starting to experiment with walking with assistance. So I think she was probably just 9 months. But now that she's 3 and she wants to be just like Amma, I would like to make us a matching set. So that's on my to-do list later on. Not quite yet. But the things that I am working on right now is this Felix cardigan that I showed you last time, that I had to frog all the way up to the where I split for the sleeves and the body. And so I'm just knitting away on that again, and almost finished with everything that I had to frog back. So I'm going to work on this today and maybe tomorrow morning before I leave for the airport, but then this will just be put away for the next few weeks. I'm also working on this top here, which is a test knit. This is a test knit for another Icelandic designer. It's for a designer whose name is Hula on Instagram. Her name is Ásthildur, and it's going to be a very summery tank. This is the front side, and then the back will be open and tied with an I-cord. Simple, very simple stitch pattern, but quite elegant and beautiful in my opinion, with this stockinette and then the garter stitch in between. So the stripes are small garter stitches. This will be great. I'm actually using a yarn that I've never used before. This is Holst Garn Coast held double, and I've been wanting to try this yarn for a while, so I was quite happy that this was the recommended yarn for this pattern. So I'm just puttering along with this, making good progress. I need to start now on the back panel, so I've finished with the front until I join the back to the front, so I will need to cast on the front parts, the back parts, in the next day or two. I would really like to take this along to knit on the airplane because it's so small. What else do I have? I have some plans for summer knitting. So this is a yarn that I think I showed you last time. It's a bamboo and linen mix from Hex Dye Works, and this will be a Veronica tee by LG Designs. It's a really interesting pattern that I bought the other day, and it includes both a fingering and a DK weight of this tee, and it can either have it's both a round neck and also a V-neck in the same pattern. All of the proceeds for this pattern go to Leve, which is the Norwegian Association for Suicide Survivors, which I thought was really beautiful. So I decided to buy this over other tee patterns, and I'm quite happy that I did. You can find the creator. Her name is, I'm not sure what her name is, but her handle on Instagram is Creative Daydreams, and she's also on Ravelry as LG Designs, and I will put a link in the description if you're interested in that. I think that she also has a YouTube channel, so I will link that down there as well. So I'm quite excited for this. if I remember correctly, it's knit up in 3 millimeters. So it will be, it's 3 millimeters, I think, is probably my favorite needle size. So I'm really looking forward to knitting that with this yarn. It's the same yarn that is in my in the copper colored top that I was wearing with my trousers earlier in the video. And it's just got a really nice drape and it's really comfortable to wear. I really enjoy this yarn for summer things. I'm also planning on making a Darjeeling top by Trust the Mojo, and I'm going to be using this this yarn that I reclaimed from a top that I never wore. It's Kit Couture silk linen, and it's a silk linen blend. I don't remember much more about this yarn, and maybe I should have looked it up, but I think it will be knit up beautifully in the Darjeeling top. Yeah, and then the last thing that's on my plans for the next few weeks is maybe another one of these. I think I'm going to just wind up the yarn and not take it with me to the States. My parents are going to be joining me there in 3 weeks, and so I think if I finish everything else that I'm bringing, then I will have them pick up my yarn and bring it with them. I'm also really wanting to make a tank out of this yarn here that I bought at a yarn festival in the beginning of March. It's a fingering weight, 70% baby alpaca and 30% silk, and it's dyed by Today I Feel, which is an Icelandic dyer. As you may notice, a lot of my yarns that I'm choosing are from Icelandic dyers, and that's actually been a it was a very a very conscious decision that I made 2 years ago, that I would rather buy my yarn from independent Icelandic dyers to support women in business rather than investing my money in, things that need to be imported or other things. So I really do try to primarily buy yarn here in Iceland, even though it's a lot more expensive than elsewhere, and mostly from hand dyers or small shops that are women owned. It's one of my values is really this supporting women in business. So I'm happy that my funds go towards that. So this will be most likely a tank, maybe a tee. I haven't decided yet, but I bought it as yarn for a tank. So maybe a tank. And then I also have this gorgeous yarn from another Icelandic dyer. This is from Dóttir Dye Works, who was up in the north. And I saw that some of you were commenting on my last video saying that you are going to be coming to Iceland with a cruise and that you're hoping to stop in ports to be able to buy some yarn as well. And this dyer is based in Akureyri, so I think you're probably likely to be stopping there if you're coming with a cruise. And I really highly, highly recommend giving her shop a visit. She's got tons of bases and gorgeous colors. She's really, really talented. This is a base that is 65% merino, 20% silk, and 15% yak. And I wish you could feel this through the screen. It's really soft and squishy, and I kind of feel like the reason why this one is so big here at the bottom is because I keep squeezing it because it feels like my cat's tail when he's walking past. I always squeeze his tail when he's walking by me, and this feels like his tail when I'm squeezing it. So yes, this will either be a t-shirt or a top, or like a tank as well as the white one. And I feel like maybe there's not so much more that I need to add to my wardrobe for the time being. I saw a pattern that Matchy Matchy Sewing Club will be releasing soon for some pants that I would love to buy some linen for when I go to the States. I think that my sister and I are carving out some time for sewing while I'm there. And maybe even my niece will join us. So that would be really, really fun. The thing that I feel like I'm missing the most from my wardrobe would be, trousers or pants, depending on where you're based in the country, in the world. Um, so I think that's what I would like to add to my wardrobe is trousers. I would love to have some comfortable linen trousers. I mentioned that I would like to invest in a pair from Not Perfect Linen. They are probably my favorite company to shop for. I haven't been able to purchase much from them. I have 3 Not Perfect Linen dresses, and one of them is probably my favorite item from my wardrobe. It's the black and white checkered, gingham checkered dress that I was wearing in my last episode. It's already been mended because it was starting to be worn through here in the armpit, but it's so comfortable and it feels so much like me. I feel so comfortable in my own skin when I'm wearing this dress. And that's my favorite piece of clothing from my wardrobe. I also have a long-sleeved brown dress from them that's a bit shorter, and it's also really comfortable and really nice. And then I have one um, sleeveless dress, yellow, like a cornflower yellow dress that I wear in the summer mostly, or over some other tops during the wintertime. So yeah, I would really like to invest in, well, my camera just shut off due to high temperature, so I'm not quite sure what the last part of what I just said was, but I do hope to be able to invest in a piece from Not Perfect Linen this year, or maybe not until next year. I think I will just see what is needed in my wardrobe in the coming months. So maybe in autumn or in December, maybe I will ask for a piece from them for Christmas or for my birthday. Both are in December, of course. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me again if you're watching, or thank you for joining me for the first time if you're watching for the first time. As I said earlier in my last video, I'm looking at this from the perspective that nothing is a failure if the goal is experience, and that's what I feel like I have been gaining. So hopefully, fingers crossed, my sound will be better this time. I had some people let me know that the sound was weird for those that were wearing headphones. So hopefully I have that fixed now. I'm really trying to figure out how to use the editing software, and I think that I've managed to figure out how to put photos on the screen. So hopefully, again, fingers crossed, there will be pictures of the patterns that I'm talking about on the screen. And as with the last time, there will also be links in the description for those of you that are interested in checking that out. If you stayed this long, thank you. I really appreciate you watching the whole video. And thank you for all the love on my last video. I'm really looking forward to coming back next week from a different location. So until then, I will be here or on an airplane or out in the sun in Florida, knitting, mending, or just generally trying to live life at a slower pace. I think it's beneficial for all of us to slow down a bit, and I hope that you are doing a bit of slowing down as well. So I would love to hear in the comments, how are you slowing down this week? Are you intentionally dressing in your favorite outfit? And what is your favorite outfit? I would love to hear that as well. I hope that my I hope that the list of people who inspire me might inspire you as well. I know that, even though some of them are quite colorful and fun, and completely different from the way that I dress, they still inspire me to maybe explore new things and step out of my comfort zone a bit, as well as just being unapologetically myself, as they are unapologetically themselves. And I think that that's a beautiful place to be. Unapologetically yourself. And I hope that going through this next week, you can be unapologetically yourself. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.